and in this tutorial we'll be talking about how to create a shared any element transition. Okay, so shared element transition is pretty much useful when you have a shared element. Okay, like for example in this context, the example I'm giving you, we have our shared element named as a image view. Okay, so having this shared element as an image view shared among your activity transition and activity output transition, right? So it has the same similar shared image view. You just need to declare, what you need to declare is your transition name, obviously the same transition name among your two activities, the activity transition and activity output transition. Okay, and then using this shared like your transition name, you can just pretty much also create animate your transition. Okay, in both your activities, and to start your activity with the shared element, we can just pass it with a bundle with the transition elements that we want to create, right? So so if you have more than one shared element, you can also pass the variable argument like a pair between view or string, or and the transition name like like for example, if you have a kind of a yeah, you can actually pass in one arguments or variable arguments, but if you want to pass a variable arguments, you can just pass the pair. But I want to just show you the first the transition with the first case, that is your this image. Okay, how can we do that? It's pretty simple. You just need to pass it with your image name, that is your share like a binding dot your image that I'm gonna share, and the second one is the transition name. The transition name what we have created is this name that we have added. Okay, and voila, so guys, it's gonna be here so it's gonna animate. Okay, so if I run the application now, if I put it 1000 and just 10% of 1000 I compute, you see you have the animation. You go back, you can, yeah, you see this is the animation that we want to we did it with our shared animation, right? And it's looking really cool, right? As you can see here, it's going back, coming, and like it has a cool smooth user experience here, right? And this is the case when you have only one shared element, right? But what if you have like a pair of shared element? Like for example, if you have a pair of shared element, you can just add it here in this way, button pair, like a pair of your view and a string. Okay, let me just import my view, pair of your button button and your name of the button you want to share, or you want to have a image pair, right, with a similar concept of a pair of obviously it's also pair of a view and a string, binding the image and your image. So you can actually pass a pair. So I'm just passing here once, but you can have a pass a pair, so you have a button pair and image pair, right? You don't need to pass the transition name here because you are just passing it with the pair name, right? So it's pretty simple if you have a pair. Your transition name actually, okay, let me just add it in up here. Okay, just not the button pair, but I want to pass the image pair. So we have a Kotlin peer. Where is my peer, guys? Required Android util peer, but we have a Kotlin peer. Okay, so we have to add a Android util peer. Okay, so yeah, you see, you can pass it also as a peer. Okay, so if I run the application, it should work pretty fine. So static person is 10. Yeah, see, it's working fine also with the peer. Okay, so if you have a multiple variable arguments, you can just pass it as a peer. Okay, yeah, with this concept we have successfully also created an animation for our shared element, right? And thank you guys, and catch you up in the next lecture.